So I said, okay, I'll buy this one, just bring it over. But I want to buy more. Have you got more? But they come back and say, yeah, I've got 14 more. Then I'll call my friend and say, okay, now you can bring the police department because we know where they are. But it's funny how things, yeah, how it goes, yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. We have quorum.
We have a quorum?
Yes.
Okay, we have a quorum. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please? Excuse me, where is Gerardo? And Joe is on it, but Gerardo?
Joe's virtual.
Anybody know where he is?
Mr. Hinojosa's virtual.
Huh?
Mr. Hinojosa's virtual.
Yeah, I know. I just talked to him, yeah, but
I don't know about.
Gerardo?
Roll call. Chairman Anker Jensen.
Present.
Vice Chairman Dr. Joe Hinojosa.
Present.
Treasurer Gerardo Gonzalez. Secretary Liliana Elizondo.
Present.
Board Member Frank Orozco Jr.
Present.
Board Member Anna O'Quinn.
Present.
Board Member Benjamin Peña.
Here.
And for the record, Vice Chairman Dr. Joe Hinojosa will be joining us via WebEx. Next item. Public comment period. There wasn't any public comment registered, Chairman. Next item. Closed session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney related to executive director and CEO. Code 551.074, deliberation on personnel matters, including but not limited to appointed, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee related to executive Director. Chairman, we need a motion to go into executive session.
So motioned.
I second.
Aye.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay, just want to make sure.
Okay, I need a motion to resume the meeting.
I make a motion to resume the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to resume the regular board meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it, the meeting is resuming. Next point on the agenda, please.
Next item, consideration and action, if any, including but not limited to the adoption of board resolutions related to items discussed in executive session. Executive Director / CEO.
I need a motion to accept items as discussed in the executive session. Is there anything to add to it?
No, that's correct.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to proceed as discussed in executive session.
I'll second it.
okay, any discussion? No, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, the motion carries.
Next item, consideration and action, if any, of the following items. A, approval of minutes of special workshop and regular board meetings. A, regular, April 18, 2024. B, approval regarding the payment of vendor services invoice to the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation for the month of April 2024.
There is a request to remove item B from consent. Yes.
Second.
I have a motion to remove item B, we approve regarding the payment of vendor services invoices to Greater Brownsville. Is that the one you want to remove? Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of removing item B on the, what's this?
Consent agenda.
Payment of vendors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all the ayes have it. The motion carries.
So now you're at consent item number 1, approval of minutes, regular meeting, April 18th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
The minutes?
I second.
Any discussion? I have a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting. Any discussion? Any corrections? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. I'll sign them now.
Item 1B regarding the vendor services invoice. There was a question, Salvador. There was a question regarding whether these are already paid.
They're invoices that have already been processed and they're acknowledging payments.
Can you say that again? Does that mean that the invoices on our report has already been paid?
Typically, these are all invoices that have been processed since the date of the last board meeting. So anything processed between the last board meeting date and now are included in this report.
And checks has been issued, they've been paid.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve?
Well, no, we removed it from the item.
We have only,
Yeah.
we don't just remove one.
Well,
we removed all of
no,
them,
we
right?
removed all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think-
I'd ask in the future if they're already paid, that I guess we have to acknowledge them versus approving them? Or how does that?
Yeah, we can modify that in going forward.
So the idea is that if we do have a conflict with any of those payments, we would abstain from that line item specifically
Correct,
at that time,
correct.
even though it's already been paid.
Yes, if there's a lot of items on consent agenda, you have the option of abstaining from the full consent agenda vote, or doing it like we just did now, where you pull it out, indicate on the record that you have a conflict, and then move on.
Can we not just, for this, can we not just remove the one item that we discussed
That is correct.
and approve the rest?
You could.
Can you?
In this
you wanna
instance,
modify the,
in this instance, we didn't do that. We
Yeah.
removed all items, so being that it is approval, if you want to table it for the month of April, then we can bring it back in the following meeting so that it's acknowledged.
I'm talking about approving everything else but that one item.
And when he says one item, like a check, right? So if we're seeing a list of disbursements that were made throughout the month, right? And so
Correct.
if there was a conflict, in a particular check, we can abstain with that specific check, not the entire list.
Correct.
And we'll do that at that time.
So motion to table?
Yeah, I think, I'll second.
Do we need to table?
Yeah, because these are already approved. My understanding is these already have been paid. So you're just acknowledging, even though it says approving, you're just acknowledging the payments. So rather than have you all approve them right now, we can bring them back so you can acknowledge April's and May's.
Why would we table?
I don't.
So we don't need to table it because we already pulled it from the consent
Yeah, but
item,
if you pull
right?
them from consent, you consider them individually separate. That's what we did. And so I don't think we need to table it.
If you want to
I-
approve it, you could.
I would prefer to table them for the next meeting. Yeah.
Fair enough.
My motion's still there,
To,
to table that item. 1B.
any discussion on tabling that subject? I think we should just go ahead and approve it, but what do you think, Ben? No.
I agree with Ileana. I think we need to table it.
So I
Okay.
believe you have a first and a second.
Yes.
Do you have a motion on the table?
Okay, and we've had discussions. Any more discussion? All those in favor of tabling the subject, say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor, say nay. Okay, the ayes have it. The motion is tabled.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Next item, Greater Brownsville Staff Report. 1, Business Recruitment. 2, Business Retention and Expansion Efforts. 3, Marketing and Communication Strategic Efforts. 4, Greater Brownsville Events and Partnership. Business Recruitment by Jerry Briones.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. For this last month, we had 5 inquiries. Of the 5 inquiries that we had, we responded to one of them, and we're still in discussions on the second one. The negative responses were, one was a mining project, which we didn't have the mine anyway to begin with. The other one was requiring 2.5 tons of water per day, which right now PUB is going through some problems. And then the last one was, it wanted to be close to their clients, which they didn't have any within our region.
Jerry, are you talking about 2.5 tons or 25 tons?
No, 2.5 tons.
That's 2,500 liters.
That's a lot of water, yes, sir.
It's not.
It's not?
You
So
can carry
we-
that on top of a pickup truck.
So we did have discussions with PUB on it, and as well as the water, they had some pretty stiff power requirements. And then as well, they wanted an existing building.
I bet you I use 2.5 tons of water every time I water my lawn. It's not very much water. Okay.
So we did attend Hannover Messe in Germany with the Transatlantic Business and Investment Council. Brett and I met with a lot of the appointments. We had about maybe 13 different appointments through TBIC over there. Some were individuals, some were as a group. We did manage to speak to several. There was several that were interested, and actually one already has some operations in Houston. So they we're still keeping tabs on them. We also came across 3 other industries while we were over there, and I actually sent them some emails during this week to kind of catch up with them. We didn't have a chance to meet with them, but we did get some contact information while we were over there. The second there is I attended Oklahoma University, the Economic Development Institute, a couple of weeks ago. So I am 2 classes away from getting my certification in economic development. After that, I'll take an examination. So the classes are in politics, in economic development, they're BRE, strategic planning, all different types of classes. So the only 2 I have left is the business retention and expansion and the strategic planning, which I plan on taking one online and the last one in October. And that's all my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Next
Next.
item, business retention and expansion by Giovanna Rangel.
Good evening, board members. So these are just a couple of the BRE visits that I did this past month. I know some of you guys saw some sesame oil that I left right near you guys, some sesame seeds as well. I got those samples from part of the tour that we attended. This company's been here for almost 30 years. And so what they do is they import sesame seed from 9 different countries, and they produce sesame paste, tahini. They have some coconut paste, which is delicious. We had some testing there as well. Carlos, who's the CEO there, kind of explained, the process of what they do. They have regular sesame seed. They also do toasted sesame seed, which I didn't know the difference until I tried it. And my personal favorite is going to be the toasted. I believe, Liliana, you have that one on your desk. So we're going to be working with them and doing some training. It's a small manufacturing company, but they have a lot of growth and a lot of potential. So we're going to continue to support them. With Mueller as well, I visited this month as well to see, kind of what training they're needing. They're in a stage where their production has kind of slowed down. So they notified me that this is probably a good time to start training their employees in different areas. So I'm going to get together with them and see what we can do in partnership with TEEPS. And CTRM, we also took a tour at CTRM. The entire team went out there and we were able to tour the Dominion Energy vessel, which was recently moved into the water and, was a historical achievement for CTRM. So that was really cool for us to get to experience that and get a tour, a firsthand tour of what they do out there. Next slide, please. Can you hit one more time? Oh, no, go forward. And then click one more time. It's a video. I don't think there's sound. But I wanted to include that video on there so you guys can see what our Greater Bronzeville Insight Session was about. This is an initiative that I want to kind of take on in the BRE program that I'm working on. And pretty much in partnership with SA Recycling from the port, we invited new business owners, whether they're CEOs or they still have like a prototype, right? So that they learn what we're doing, what we can offer. So I invited a couple team members for us to do a presentation and kind of hit the different points that we do, right? Whether it be recruitment, whether it be with incentives or just connecting them with other CEOs, right? So that they can kind of connect and maybe offer their services. With that, we had about 8 attendees. And we also got to take a tour for SA Recycling so that way they can learn as well from their facility. And Alberto gave a presentation on that. So what I want to do is I want to continue to do this at least once a quarter and invite new CEOs, new entrepreneurs, whoever it is that don't know who we are, what we do, and do it in different manufacturer companies. So they can also experience. Yes, sir.
When you invite people to what's your selection process? Where do you get the CEOs from and how do you figure out what to invite or not?
The way I did it this time was part of my BRE visits, I'll ask them like, do you know any other person that maybe wants to kind of embark on a journey or another CEO from a different company that I haven't visited and kind of send them the invitation through there. So it's word of mouth, right? And as well, if I have new visits that maybe I've only been there once, then I include them. So instead of me going back again, I invite them and I say, hey, you know what, we're going to give a whole presentation so you learn more about what we do and show them firsthand. So that's going to be my next focus is, just pretty much doing more research and seeing what other companies are in Brownsville that have been here. I mean, like Pipasa, they've been here almost 30 years, and they didn't know who we were. So those are the kind of companies that I want to hit, and I want to educate them as to what we do. Next slide. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rangel.
Thank you.
Next item, Marketing and Communication Strategic Efforts by Alexa Perez.
Next slide. Oh, it is though. Okay. Hi, good afternoon, board members. I'm sorry I was not here present last time, but now I have my voice back, so ready to speak. So in the first slide, what you're gonna see is one of the approach that we're having, of course, for the businesses. There are two main audiences for us for Greater Brownsville. One, the larger scale businesses, for them to know that we exist, in which we understand that Giovanna has been doing a great job in visiting them, right? But at the same time, we also have the community. We need for them to know that we exist. We need for them to know that we are here to support them. Now, the first thing that you're gonna see is, of course, that we continue promoting during this month the Greater Brownsville Insight Session, which is what Giovanna hosted, what she already explained. We also promoted on our social media, and we also promoted for all of the companies that might be, that might want to host one of these sessions as well. And in that way, it's an opportunity to let them know that we exist and how they can take advantage of the resources that we can provide, right? Also, another focus that we're having is that we're posting stories that actually build connection with the audience. For example, you're gonna see that we have feature dynamics and we have one of the testimonials from ORC. ORC is a company that 80% of their workforce, it's people with disabilities. And if you will see Mr. Manuel Rodriguez, he actually provided a great example and a great testimonial on the support that he has been receiving from the company. And also they thank as well Greater Brownsville, because thanks to that support, he's been working there for almost 17 years. So those type of stories, we're posting them actually to build that connection, that human connection with the audience. And of course, the other ones for the businesses is that are a little bit more straightforward. The other two items that you're going to see, of course, is just the business that we went to, the Pasa and Citrium. Of course, they have a corporate communications department. That means that we cannot post anything yet until their corporate department approves it, right? And if you see the P there on advertising opportunity, I just wanted to make sure that you all know that it is very important for Greater Brownsville to start blasting the message now about who we are, what do we do. You might be asking the question, why is that you haven't seen maybe a billboard or a commercial? Well, it's just FYI, there are a lot of advertising opportunities, but I'm just waiting for the approval of my supervisor, right? After we get that approval, we're gonna go ahead and start putting either billboards, commercials, radio, and anything that if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And let me know also if there's any particular item that you would like, of course, to see before we launch it and make it public. Okay. And next one, Marlene, please. Now I just want to give you a really quick just review where we at right now. So what you're seeing right now, of course, are the analytics, or where are we at organically on social media during the 3.5 months approximately that I've been here. As you see, we have had an impressions already of 224,000. A reach of 80,000, content interactions of 3,500, and followers now of 2,500. When I started managing these pages, especially the one for Facebook, it had 1,500 followers. That means that we've been able to grow. We have had 1,000 new followers, and all of this has been organically. We haven't paid for them. We're currently, just so you know, we're currently running some ads on Facebook, but those are related to Space Fest. And we started running those this weekend. So none of these analytics are related to those ads that we run. Next one, Marlene, please. And just for example, in this one on Instagram, in the past, we had 492 followers. Now we have 722. All of them has been organically. We did notice an immediate increase when it comes about telling the community what do we do through different activities. What do I mean? What I mean is that we saw an immediate increase when we started doing the mural, when we started involving the community into the activities that we do. And now that we're explaining them that we're doing the Space Fest for two major things. One, of course, to contribute to the local vendors, which is a way to continue contributing to our economic development, because all of this is 100% free. We're not charging to the vendors and we're not charging to the community, which is another way in which we're trying to connect for them. So we're telling them that the only thing that we want is for them to go to the festival, to sell their products, and to hopefully get more exposure, of course, into the community. We're basically telling them, hey guys, we are Greater Brownsville. We are here to support you. We exist. And if we are honest about it, you might want to go to the next slide. Thank you. And we all know that it's very important to maintain our public image. But in this case, the Greater Brownsville case is not about maintaining it. It's about refreshing it. It's about changing the public perception that we currently have. That's why I have taken this approach of focusing on the businesses, but also focusing on the community, because at the end, we're public servants of them, right? So as you see, one of the main reasons, it was because we want for the community to understand who we truly are, and we want to bridge that gap between them and us. We want for them to stop seeing us just as another organization, and that's it. We want for them to know that there are 80 staff members here working every day to get more jobs, to get more companies here, and to support in any way. There might be occasions in which maybe we cannot provide incentives, we get it, but there are occasions in which instead of, it's not only about the money, we can provide them with connections, or we can be that bridge between them and another organization, right? In that way, they can get the support that they need. So that's one of the main messages as well that we're promoting right now. As you see, the event is gonna be on Friday, May 31st from 6 to 10. I'm gonna make sure, of course, to send this calendar invite. It's a free event, as I say, for all the community. We're gonna have a lot of things at this event. This event is gonna be huge. So we're gonna have a space custom contest. We're gonna have robotics and AI from UTRGV, from BISD. We're gonna be doing the mural celebration and live painting. This means that we're gonna have local artists there painting big canvases. And we're not spending in that because we already had a lot of painting that was left, paint that was left from the mural. So we're just gonna give them some portions of them, and that's it. And this is also a donation for them, because what they do with those canvases, they can just sell them, and it will contribute, of course, to their small businesses. We're also gonna have DJ Ray Burger. He's coming from California. Additionally, we will have over 180 vendors, probably. We successfully had a registration of over 350 vendors. We got really excited, but unfortunately, we cannot feed them all in the space that we have. But we were able to feed a lot of food trucks, and all of them, of course, local and from the Valley. Also, we're gonna have an arts pavilion. If you wanna go to the next slide, Marlene, please. And let me show you how big it's gonna be. So basically, we're gonna close from Adams Street to Elizabeth, and we're gonna close from 9th Street to 11th Street. The main entrance is gonna be across the fire department. And as you enter, you're gonna see tables from Visit Brownsville, which is the Convention and Visitors Bureau brand. And you're gonna see tables from Greater Brownsville. Both of them provided with the people, with swag and event maps and information. We're gonna have, of course, on the stage and the space custom check-in. We're gonna have the mural, and across the street, in front of the mural, we're gonna have the line painting. And then we call it the VIP photo opportunity, but in reality, it's basically a space where it's gonna be blocked where they can get the perfect picture with the astronaut in the back. And then we're gonna have a photo booth as well. Now from 10th Street to 9th Street, we're gonna have the Arts Pavilion. This is where we will have artists painting, doing even face painting to kids. They're gonna have canvases for the family so they can go and paint. All of this is gonna be for free. We're also gonna have a lot of activities like GBIC, some of those businesses that pay through the access. Also some gaming trucks, which kind of like a food truck, but it's actually a full gaming experience inside. But that's actually gonna be on the Future and Innovation Pavilion. Then on the Arts Pavilion side, we're also gonna have probably almost 100 vendors on that side of the festival. Then on the food and drinks, all the food trucks, all the snacks, anything related, of course, for that. And then Future and Innovation, that's where we're gonna have some robots walking. We were able to get 4 robots that they're gonna be walking during the whole time, so they can take picture with the kids. The robotics team and technology teams from different schools as well. We were also able to secure the presence of Tesla. So they're gonna have an exposition there of the Cybertruck and some Tesla vehicles as well. And I already spoke as well on SpaceX. They're very interested in participating. It's a 90% yes. It's just that probably that week they're gonna have an event. So they are looking forward either if they go to the event, or they will probably provide you some merch or something that week so they can be present. And all of this has been in collaboration, as I mentioned, with Visit Brownsville, which is the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and us. I don't know if you have any.
On the artists, are you teaming up with the Museum of Fine Arts or somebody like that, or no?
Yes, so the good thing is that the local muralist, Carlos, the one who created the mural, honestly, to be honest, like I did ask him for his help because he's the artist, right? So I asked him to please start reaching out. So I know he reached out to the Museum of Fine Arts as well. And he did get a contact. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have actually JC James, which is the artist that painted the mural that is on 13th Street and Elizabeth. I think he got one from there. And so there's gonna be 2 women and 2 men, but I can provide you with those names.
I used to be in the board. If you need contact with the director, I can facilitate that for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you. Any other question? Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Next item, Greater Brownsville Events in Partnership by Elsa Gavan.
Good evening, board. So the first picture here for professional development, I want to congratulate Salvador for starting the UTRGV CMP courses. The program lasts a little over a year, so we're excited that he started. And Marlene will also be starting soon, I believe in 2 months. So we congratulate both of them for taking that journey. Us women attended the Texas Economic Development Council conference, where we networked and learned a lot of different types of subjects, such as empowerment and resilience. We networked with different women who are also in economic development, joined a bingo session, and had some economic development roundtable discussions. And it was such a great time. We were able to network with other women in Texas. Also not listed here, I participated in a small business education session today. I want to get my hands on learning grants and loans for small businesses. So I won't just visit, I'll be able to give them the information and provide them guidance to start their businesses or even continue successfully in their journeys. And I also recently attended with my family a small business pop-up here in Brownsville, where I was able to connect with local home start-based businesses and online businesses. So I was able to kind of network and buy certain things. They had different vendors there, and also some performances from Roca. Brett and Elazar participated in the Southern Economic Development Meet the Consultants Site Selection Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. And so we hope that they had a lot of connections there to be able to bring site selectors to Texas. Also, the team participated in the Dream Build RGVs by CDCB groundbreaking event in Los Fresnos. The students build homes there, which is called a farm, and so they're able to transport those homes to the clients. In this slide, I want to thank Chairman Jensen and Dr. Hinojosa for attending the RGV Partnership Small Business Award Luncheon. There were different categories of different entrepreneurs and home-based businesses that won awards. And so one of them was from the Small Business Person of the Year, Nicolas Soto from NBS Corporate Services, located here in Brownsville. So we were so excited to have him as the Person of the Year. I'm also working with the SBA to be able to start recognizing people here in Brownsville, businesses here in Brownsville, to get their names submitted for those awards. Some of our staff also donated blood, and that event was co-hosted by Exceptional ER and Valiant. It was called Valiant Every Drop Counts. So we were so excited to be part of that. We also attended the Her Texas Coffee and Mimosas, where CEO Jasmine Brand showcased one of our local small businesses, Camila Mexican Boutique here in Bronzeville. We also had Stephanie Houston, who owns a Island Getaway Rum, and Dalina Gonzalez Alcantar from Boys and Girls of McAllen. If you've never shopped at Camila Mexican Boutique, she has an online store, and also it's located on Price Road, so don't forget to buy some gifts from there. She has amazing merchandise. I also want to thank the board members who attended the State of the City. We appreciate your support with the community's growth and prosperity. I was not able to attend, well, Eliasad and I were not able to attend because we were currently in a FAM tour and we missed it. But we were so happy that you were able to support the rest of the team. We also participated in the STMA meeting this week, hosted in McAllen, and it featured STC's apprenticeship program. So they were able to give us information on how we can help businesses and students go through an apprentice program. Like I mentioned, we spearheaded the Cameron County FAM Tour in collaboration with CoStep. We featured 5 site selectors from across the country, and during the FAM Tour, they had presentations from Greater Bronzeville, Harlingen, San Benito, Cameron County, and we featured City of Bronzeville. We also had AMFCO representatives speak about the collaborative efforts with Greater Bronzeville, and we toured the port, SpaceX, visited Matamoros, and during our visit to Matamoros, we visited Novalink, where they were able to see the different functions in the buildings and how many businesses are actually manufacturing through there. And we also had presentations from Coden, Index, Las Ventanas Industrial Park, and SAIDE. So we were so happy to be part of that FAM tour. Any questions?
I have one question. When you
Yes,
talked
Doctor.
about touring Matamoros, whatever happened to the CODEM committee that I was on that I only attended one meeting and I never heard of any more?
I'll let Jerry answer.
Well, yeah. I did have a conversation while we were there with Grecia about that. And she kind of expressed where, I guess, they have their committee, and she was under the impression that we had our own committee. And in fact, I asked her, so were we supposed to meet? And this was, I guess this was before I was on board. So I asked her, okay, so what was the plan? Was it to meet monthly, quarterly? What? And she said, she actually said she wasn't sure. But I did ask her if there was a way that we could start maybe meeting soon. But because we work with the other site selectors, we kind of said, okay, you know what, why don't you let me give you a call later in the week and we can talk about it a little bit more. But she was under the impression that, and it sounded to me like they were doing their own thing and we were doing our own thing. And if you've, I don't know if you've seen some of their LinkedIn posts, they're pretty much doing all over the valley. They've seen some of their posts up in McAllen, some of their posts with Harlingen EDC. Actually, they had just gotten back from Querétaro, where they were at a trade show with the Harlingen EDC. So they actually got there that night and were meeting with us the next day. So I'm not sure where the miscommunication is, but I will follow up, sir.
I really would appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did ask her. Yeah, I did ask her that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Anybody?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Galvan. Next item, discussion, consideration, and acknowledgement of Greater Brownsville financials by Salvador Villalpando.
Good evening, Board. I'll be covering the financials for Greater Bronzeville through the month of April, which includes activity for 7 months into this fiscal year. Total assets are 39.9 million, liabilities at 160,000. So total assets less our liabilities gives us a total net position of 39.8 million. And our net position is broken down into the following: 35% or 13.8 million is invested in capital assets, 22.3 million in undesignated net position, which is 56% of our net position. And lastly, 9% of our net position is designated, which is 3.5 million. Next slide, please. So here we have revenues and expenditures through this fiscal year. It includes a budget versus actuals comparison as well as a year-over-year comparison. I'll be highlighting the second column here, which is the actuals for this fiscal year. Revenues are at 4.6 million. The majority of our revenues are coming from sales tax, which is 84% at 3.8 million. And then 16% of our revenues are interest, which is 734,000 through the month of April. Expenses are 2 million, majority coming from operating at 1.1 million. We have 505,000 in incentive expenditures, and lastly, 375,000 in strategic initiatives. So our total revenues over expenditures are currently at 2.6 million, which rose into our undesignated net position. Next slide, please. Lastly, we have the sales tax comparison through the month of March. So collections in March were 670,000, which was slightly under March of the previous fiscal year, under by 1,600. Taking that into account, total collections for the first 6 months are at 3.8 million, which is a 5.6% increase compared to the previous fiscal year. That increase gives us a projected sales tax of 7.7 million for this fiscal year. And just as a comparison, last year we collected 7.3 for the full fiscal year. So we're projecting an increase of about 400,000, taking into account actual activity for the first 6 months of this year. That covers the financials. If there's any questions.
I have a question on some of the sales tax. Apparently, we didn't make any money off of the last space launch, did we?
The last space launch, I don't recall when it was. It was about 2 months ago. It was in April, no? I don't necessarily recall when it was.
I thought it was in March, wasn't it?
In March. So in March, we show a decrease. So I'm not seeing where we're seeing an increase in sales tax. If it was in the month of March, ideally we would like to see an increase, but numbers don't necessarily translate to that.
Yeah. No, I just noticed that. No real biggie. I know you can't answer it, but just
right.
Sal, do you know what happened in December that bumped that up to 887?
So there is an answer for that I don't have, but it's essentially a one-time increase. It wasn't because of increased activity, but to my understanding, and I'll get you an answer for it, but there is an answer as to why there was such a large increase in that month of December. In fact, it's been the largest increase in forever. But there is an answer to that question that I do not have, but I will get you that answer. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the financials.
Second.
I have a motion to acknowledge the financial and a second. Any discussion?
Good work.
Thank you.
If not, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Everybody against say nay. The ayes
Nay.
have it, the motion passes. Too late, Joe.
I'm kidding. I was kidding on that. I already voted.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, I'll give it to Joe.
Anybody-
Joe got the
anybody-
second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Carries, we are adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.